Thanks. It's great to be here, guys. My name's Bob, and I sound like the kind of guy parents leave their kids with if they never want to see them again. I'm not going to start by asking if you're all well. I'm just going to assume that you are by virtue of the fact that you're here. And just so you know, when a comedian asks that question, are you all well? They do so with the same sincerity you ask a work colleague you secretly hate on Monday if they had a good weekend. So with that in mind, I'll ask you a different question. Do you ever walk down the street, see a stranger, and for no real reason, you just think, oh, fuck you? I say that fully aware of what I must look like to a stranger walking down the street, you know? I mean, no one's looking at me thinking, oh, I bet he can negotiate a good Brexit deal. I know I don't make a very good first impression. What convinced me of this was a few years ago, I was travelling and ended up in Cambodia. Sat on a beach, minding my own business, when a local man selling knockoff DVDs approached me and said, "Hey, Mr. Longhair, do you want to buy some dog porn?" And he had a bag full of other types of DVDs, straight porn, gay porn, Fast and Furious 6, but no! He took one look at me and thought, yeah, this looks like the kind of guy that wants to see a girl get fucked by a labradoodle. I saw a missing cat poster taped to a lamppost, offering a big cash reward for the feline's safe return. So I called to inquire how much that reward was. An old lady said £50. I said, no thanks, I think I'll just keep the cat. I bought my nan one of those Stannis stair lifts for her birthday. She said, nice thought, dear, but I live in a bungalow. So I put the tracks around her walls, bought a second chair, and on the weekends we play pensioner scale electrics. I used to volunteer manning a depression hotline, but they won't let me do that anymore. Turns out trying to be part of the solution was creating them more the problem. I remember I took a call from one man. He told me he was a gambling addict, that he'd lost all his money and that had made him really depressed. I said, look on the bright side. He said, what bright side? I said, this is a free phone number. The smacking of children divides opinion. I mean, I was smacked as a child. Of course, my parents were different. They were tactical about it, because if I misbehaved, they wouldn't smack me straight away. Oh, no, they'd wait until my guard was down. I went for a drink with my dad last week, and he kicked me in the balls. I said, what was that for? He said, for taping over Bullseye in 1992. He's a bit of a man's man, my dad. By that, I mean he goes to the pub every day and thinks vegans should go fuck themselves. I've only ever seen my dad cry once. That was at a funeral, and to this day, he still maintains it was hay fever. Pollen counts very high in December inside churches, apparently. I'm not even sure my dad likes me, you know? I think the only thing my dad hates worse than me is wearing condoms. Seriously, he's the only dad that took me to karate lessons, got drunk and cheered for the other kid. I told my dad I wanted to quit my job, focus more on comedy. He said, son, I did not work 2 jobs to put you through medical school so you could become a clown. I said, you didn't. He said, I know, that's what I said. And I think work colleagues are a lot like family members, you know? You don't pick them, they're annoying as fuck, and sex with them never ends well. My work colleagues, they're the kind of people that if I see outside of work walking down the street, I cross over, punch in the back of the head. But whenever someone new starts at the office, I'm always super nice to them, you know, just in case it's an episode of Undercover Boss. I'm like, hey, my name's Bob, pleased to meet you. If you need anything, just let me know. P.S. I need 50 grand for new legs and I've never been to Disneyland. I've been with my girlfriend now for 2 years. We live together, which is fine. She said to me recently, Bob, you've changed. I said, no, I haven't. I have just stopped pretending. Because we all act at our best behaviour when we first meet someone we want to impress, don't we? I mean, how else would wife beaters get wives? They're not dishing out black eyes on the first date, are they, guys? That's the 3-date rule. When I first met my girlfriend, I pulled out all the stops. Everything was a good idea. Nothing was too much trouble. I was going on picnics and meeting her cunty friends and... What a horrendous night down a gastro pub that always is. Meeting the girlfriend's friends. Never the man's idea, is it? No man has ever said to his girlfriend, hey, how about this Friday we get together with the girls that are going to tell you to leave me the first time we have an argument. They say dogs are a man's best friend, but I'm not so sure all dogs agree. You ever see a dog owned by a homeless man? That thing never looks impressed. It's like, oh, fuck, how did I become best friends with this arsehole? His breath smells worse than mine. I wish he stopped playing that fucking accordion. It's never their fault in that situation, though, is it, the dogs? It's never their fault. You never have to walk past a dog and a homeless man and think, I wonder which one of you two fucked it up. I own a dog now, which is cool because I no longer look out of place in a wooded area. Before I got the dog, people would give me that look in the woods of, I wonder how many prostitutes he's just buried. I think a good way of telling whether a missing person's dead is when police start searching the woods. How many alive people do they ever find in there? We've all seen the news stories, haven't we? Reporters talking on the TV, in the background, police searching a wooded area. You never see an officer emerge from those woods, do you? Shouting, found them! Panic over, guys, she's fine. She just went dogging and lost track of the time. That never happens, does it? They're always found brutally murdered. Brutally murdered. Now, that's a popular tabloid phrase, isn't it? Brutally murdered. And that was me thinking all murders by their very nature were pretty brutal. Brutally murdered makes it sound like there's other murder options on the menu. Police found Janet, 84, earlier today inside her bungalow, having been lightly murdered. Her husband, Ken's, just learnt of the news and is said to be mildly heartbroken. There's nothing quite like an EasyJet flight to make you wish you tried harder at school. I love it when people say, school days are the best days of your life. But there's only 2 types of people that can genuinely say that, and they're either 1, total losers, or 2, kids that died on the last day of school. I wish I'd tried harder at school, but you know what's worse than wishing you tried harder at school? Actually trying hard at school and still winding up a fucking loser. Because we're told to follow our dreams, aren't we, guys, from a kid? You know, follow your dreams and never give up on them. Imagine if we all did that. Who the fuck would drive buses? No one has ever got onto a night bus pissed, looked at the driver and thought, wow, that guy's living the dream. The streets would be covered in shit. Why? No one ever dreamed of being a bin collector, did they? In fairness, that's one job I've never heard a feminist kick off about when it comes to equal opportunities. I have never seen a female bin collector, man. They're about as rare as a good-looking nudist. I used to work part-time in McDonald's. The manager always used to say, teamwork makes the dream work. And to this day, I still have no idea what the fucking dream was. Come on, guys, let's all pull together and help give these customers diabetes. I sympathise greatly with the women who get catcalled by builders on construction sites as they walk past. But for me, it's worse, because from a distance, the builders seem quite keen. Then as I get nearer and they realise I'm not a woman, they start throwing their tools at me. I've never understood why builders catcall though, man. Does it ever actually work? Never been a social gathering, and when asking how a couple first met, the woman turns and says, well, classic story, really. I was walking to work, minding my own business, when I saw Dave on top of some scaffolding shout, "Get your rat out." It's a horrible phrase, but a great name for a pest control company. I was sat indoors the other night feeling pretty depressed, so I called my ex-girlfriend to let her know that it was all her fault. Called her up and said, I can't carry on living, I'm on the roof, I'm going to jump. She said, go ahead. I said, don't you care? She said, nah, not really, you live in a caravan. I got on a night bus the other week and asked the driver where he was going. He said, home to kill myself, but the bus is going into town. I said, why are you going to kill yourself? He said, because I've just found out my wife's been having an affair with a bus replacement train driver. I said, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but life goes on. You'll get over it. Trust me, I used to volunteer manning a depression hotline. He said, I knew I recognised your voice. My friend gave me the biggest backhanded compliment the other day. He said, Bob, now but life throws at you, you're always so optimistic and you never moan. I said, thanks, but what have I got to moan about? He said, well, you're 30 years old, you're not on the property ladder, you're in a dead-end job and you're still single. And this made me sad. After a couple of drinks, I decided that death was my only option. So I killed him. That is it from me, guys. Thank you very much.